Jan McDonnell and Ken Livingstone were among at least 15 Labour politicians who sold information to the Communists during the Cold War, an ex-spy claims. Lieutenant Jan Dymic alleged the Shadow Chancellor gave valuable pointers to the KGB. Mr Livingstone was described as a very good contact for the Czech State Security, STB. The Sun revealed on Thursday how secret documents revealed Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn met Dymic, real name Jan Sarkozy, a number of times in the mid-1980s. A spokesman for Mr McDonnell branded the new claims ridiculous and false last night. Dymic, 64, alleged from his home in Slovakia, Ken Livingstone was a very good contact. He had access to sensitive information. He was in a very strong position in the Labour Party. He liked to drink whiskey at our embassy and talk about everything he knew. He was a good boy. He obtained some very good information. Mr Livingstone branded the claims false and bizarre last night. He said as a backbench Labour MP he had no access to government information, adding, "And I don't do whiskey, I do brandy." Dymic claimed very useful contact. Mr McDonnell often saw a Czech KGB agent called Tibor. Dymic said he witnessed one meeting in Guildford, Surrey.Mr McDonnell, who rates Marx and Lenin among his main intellectual influences, was a senior Labour councillor in London at the time. Dymic said, "I didn't deal with him, but I know he was an excellent informant." A spokesman for Mr McDonnell said, "John never met any Czechoslovak or Soviet agent, nor visited the Soviet or Russian embassy. He's only visited Guildford once, and that was last year for a Labour Party public meeting." Dymic spied for the STB's Department 26, which recruited political sources.He. He came to Britain in 1986 as a Czech peace envoy. He said Mr Corbyn was approached after being identified as an MP likely to gain influence. Mr Corbyn has denied knowing Dymic was a spy or passing over information.But in documents from the STB archive. Dymic recorded that Mr Corbyn warned of UK intelligence actions against Soviet and Czech agents. Dymic said, "I met Mr Corbyn many times. The subject of our conversations depended on what information I had been ordered to obtain by Moscow or Prague. His information turned out to be so very useful. He was a very polite guy, smart, intelligent. He knew I was a spy. They all did." He claimed Mr Corbyn, Mr McDonnell, and Mr Livingstone were on the Secret Service payroll, but said he did not hand over cash. He said, "We had lots of sources in Parliament, most Labour, but we had sources in all the political parties." Dymic was kicked out of Britain in 1989 by Margaret Thatcher after his mission was exposed. Among his sources, he said, was one of her aides.He said, "I knew exactly what she'd eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and what dress she would be wearing the next day." A Labour Party spokesman said Dymic was a fantasist whose claims were becoming more absurd by the day.